welcome to Superbelle Sews. My name's Sarah. Thanks for joining me today. It is my day on the Sew Frugal 2024 vlogger tour, and I've decided that I'm going to focus on one specific website today. But before we get into all of that, I'm just going to talk you through the Sew Frugal rules, as if you don't know them. So Sew Frugal was started by Ruan at the Yorkshire Sew Girl and Sam at Frugalissima a few years ago, and they set up this challenge which always runs in March. And what you have to do is you have to select a free pattern, have to select fabric from your stash, and then you sew it up in the month of March and you post it over on Instagram with the appropriate tags on the 31st of March. Now I'll put all of the details for this down in the description box, so if you're not sure about anything, go and have a look there. Now last year I approached it with quite a broad spectrum of, it was size inclusive patterns with no particular theme or brand limitations. And this year I've decided to focus on one website, which is the Mood website. Now, most of you will know that Mood is a very famous fabric shop in New York, and they also have a really huge selection of free patterns on their website. And I was sort of drawn to them because not only do they have a great size range, but they also have lots of patterns. I think often, not always by any means, but often free patterns are more simple because obviously they're not going to be making any money from them. And on the Mood website, that is not the case. They have some quite complex patterns on there. So I had a look through and I decided to pick out some size inclusive summer wardrobe patterns. And I have a selection of them for you here. So let's get down to the patterns. Now, first up, I have a really classic pattern. It's the Rosalie shirt dress. Excuse me for looking down at my notes, but I just want to give you the right details. So this comes in size 00 to 32, which I think all but one of these patterns comes in the same size range, which goes up to a 63.5 inch hip. And as I said, this is a really classic shirt dress. It has the collar, as you would expect. It's got a button placket that goes all the way down the front of the dress, including the skirt. There's darted bodice, and it also, from what I could see, it looks like the bodice and the skirt pieces are all cut in one length, so you don't have a seam at the waist. Now, I know some people prefer to have definition at the waist, and this pattern comes with a waist tie, so you could easily bring it in, which is what I would do. Now, I love this pattern because I think a classic shirt dress is something that suits lots of different body types, lots of different ages, lots of different tastes, and I love a shirt dress in the summer. Who doesn't love a shirt dress? So I picked out some fabric. Now, I don't have fabric for absolutely everything. As many of you will know if you watch my vlogs normally, I'm not currently living in my actual house, so I only have some stash with me. So I didn't really have appropriate fabrics with me for absolutely everything, but this will just give you some ideas. So I picked out this lovely cotton fabric. So the recommended fabrics are linen, chambray, seersucker, and different cotton poplins. But I think you could take any of your sort of classic shirt fabrics and they would all be great. Now I've picked this, which is a cotton poplin. And this was given to me by my friend's mum. So she probably gave it to me 18 months to 2 years ago. There's absolutely loads of it. It's got quite a bit of structure, as you would expect from a poplin. And it's got this gorgeous colour, really, really rich, which I love. And I think it would hold the shape of a shirt dress really perfectly. Now, you could also, depending on what you have in your stash, you could also make this with a plain fabric. You could just make it with a plain white or like a blue pinstripe or something really classic. I have more bold fabric in my stash because that's what I'm drawn towards. So we go statement pretty much wherever we go, as you can tell by this lemon dress. Statement. So that's the first pattern, and I think that's a really good one. Now, the next pattern is a little bit extra. I think I've said to you before, I'm from a theatrical background. I love the drama. And it's called the Cassandra Kaftan dress. I'll pop the line drawings here and some of the drawings from their website. Now, they tend to pick quite bold fabrics on the Mood website because obviously they're a fabric store and they want to, I presume what happens is they develop patterns that they think will best showcase the fabric that they want to showcase at the time. So this one they've done in a sort of snake skin print, which is obviously not for everybody, but I think is very glamorous. Now, I love the look of this because it's drama. I mean, it's actually, when you look at the line drawings, the silhouette's actually quite fitted, but when you read the description, it sort of skims the body, and then you have these huge dramatic sleeves. So I feel like you get the combination of, because, you know, sometimes when you make things that are really oversized, you can actually feel like you lose all of your shape. Whereas this looks to me like it will have that really nice balance of being fitted in the right places, but the overall silhouette feels very fluid. It does have a very low V neckline, and at the front of the skirt there's a slit at the front as well. So for me, I don't really wear things that are this low cut, so I would either be drafting it with a higher neck, or I would be wearing it over something else. So I would make it probably with slightly less volume and have it to wear like during the day over a swimming costume, or over some shorts and a vest, or do you know what I mean? Something like that. You could, though, go super extra. I feel like you can make this in some really beautiful printed viscose or silk fabric if you've got it, and have like a really extra evening dress. Apologies if I keep pausing in random places. It was my last day at school today for the term, and I have the end of term lurgy, so I keep having to pause to cough because this is my last chance to film before I have to post the video, so just excuse the random pauses. Anyway, I had to look through my stash, and I actually had a couple of fabrics that would be suitable for this. So I ended up picking this one, which is a dead stock fabric that I purchased from, I think it was Rainbow Fabrics, like a year or so ago. And it has this gorgeous, very classic blue and white print. Now, I think it's some sort of like a viscose crepe. And it's a little bit, I don't know how well you can see on here, but it is a little bit on the see-through side. So I think it's got lovely drape and movement, and I love the print. But I think if I made it out of this, I would definitely have to go for the sort of kaftan dress that I'm wearing over other things, just to keep things decent, you know. But I thought that would make a really nice option, and it's the sort of thing I actually imagined when I bought this fabric. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe a kaftan dress could be the way forward with that. Imagine the big sleeves in that print, and in this sort of drape. It's really gorgeous and drapey. So yeah, so that was my suggestion of fabric for that. Now I have a couple of top patterns. So one is called the Veronica Blouse. Now they've described this as being like Victoriana influence. I got more of a peasant vibe, like a peasant blouse vibe, but I think that might be because of the fabric they've chosen. Now I think where the Victoriana influence comes in is with the ruffle neck and the ruffle on the sleeves. And this is adjustable on the neck anyway, because it's got a nice little tie front. And there's also a button, I don't know if you call it a button placket. There are these sort of covered buttons with little loops all the way down the front. So I think if you made it in a certain type of fabric, it probably would look more Victoriana. But because they've made it in this sort of ditzy floral, to me it says more like peasant style blouse, which is very summer. Now this is also in the 00 to 32 size bracket, and the recommended fabrics they've said are georgette, gauze, and charmeuse, don't know how to say that. It's got a really relaxed fit, and I feel like this is the sort of thing you could just throw on with some shorts or some jeans or whatever, depending on how sunny it is. Or even you could throw something like this on over a swimsuit or something if you just wanted to get some coverage from the sun. So this one, it's actually quite a complex make because of all of the ruffles and the buttons. There's actually quite a lot going on here. But again, I think it would be really, really wearable for the summer. I then picked another top. Now, this one is much more simple. It's goes up to a 59.5 inch bust. Now, these measurements I'm giving are the body measurements. So some of them have loads of ease. So it's worth checking the chart if you're not sure to see what will fit you and what won't. Now, the Evanthe crop top is a really simple, it's got this off the shoulder, it's a crop top, off the shoulder, big ruffle. I think the silhouette was around, I remember seeing it lots like the summer before last, and I remember it being fairly simple to make. So it's got this off the shoulder ruffle, and then this one has an elasticated waist. Again, you could play around with, I'm sure if you wanted to add extra length, you could do if you're tall, but equally you could probably add like a sort of peplum or a skirt underneath the elasticated waist as well, which would be lovely. Now for this, they recommend lightweight linen, rayon, silk charmeuse, and cotton voile or cotton voile. Excuse me for not knowing how you say half of these. I think I know, and then I'll hear someone else say it and think, oh, I don't know. Anyway, so this I think is a really good one. If you don't have loads of fabric to work with, if you've got something with quite a bold print, because obviously the nature of the way it's cut with that big ruffle across the front means that the print won't be broken up loads, which is quite nice. And it will not take loads of fabric and will be quite a quick sew. So I think this is a really good one if you have a fabric in your stash that would suit it. Now I came across another really sweet sort of addition to another pattern on the Mood website, and that was the Valli sleeve pattern pack. Now this comes with 4 different types of sleeves that you can easily add onto their other patterns. And I'm pretty sure if you do a little bit of jiggling with the arm side, you could probably fit it on. If you've got a standard blouse pattern that really works for you, or dress pattern, then I'm sure you could sort of adjust the curve of the arm to fit with one of your favorite patterns. So it comes with 4 different types of sleeves that you can add on. So one is a classic sort of balloon sleeve. One has these puffs which are created using shearing. They only use a single line of shearing for each one. I made a dress, bell dress by Stylark, which uses this technique on the sleeves, but it uses like 3 rows of stitching, which I think gives a bit more structure. So that's great. There's then a sleeve which has nice ruffles around the hem of the sleeve, and then there's also one which has this sort of band with ruffles and a bow, so that's like the most extra sleeve. Now I think these would be a really good way if you find a free blouse or top or whatever pattern, but it's really simple and you just want to zhuzh it up a bit, then the sleeve pattern pack is a really good way to add like a little bit of character, but still stick with free patterns. Now last up we have the Myrtle shorts. Now I picked these out because I think they would again suit lots of different body types, and they are a high-waisted short. They have a thick waistband, and then on the front they have pleats, and at the back they have darts, so there's lots of really nice shaping. Now I know that something that can make people a bit nervous with shorts is getting the length right, and with this the length is really easily adjustable. They don't have any pockets, which I think will give you a cleaner silhouette as well, but I'm sure you could add pockets if you really felt the need to. And it's designed for sateen, suiting and linen. Now I know that a lot of people, when they're making shorts, they worry about getting the length right. And with this, you really can adjust the length quite easily according to the description anyway, so you can get the amount of coverage that you want. There are not pockets in these shorts, but I'm sure you could easily add some, but I do think it would affect the silhouette a bit because they're fairly close fitted around the hips, but maybe you can add patch pockets or something if you so wished. But I think the high waistband and the pleats and stuff adds just really nice fitting details that I think again will suit lots of people. Now they used sateen, suiting and linen were what they recommended. Obviously some linen shorts would be great. In these samples on the website they said they used a stretch sateen, and that made me think you could probably use like a stretch denim or something as well, which would be cute. I think like the Myrtle shorts in a stretch denim with either the Evanthe crop top or the Veronica blouse would be a really sweet little outfit. So yeah, so that's what I found. So some really gorgeous patterns there. I apologise, it's quite a quick video, but I'm just really struggling, which is why I'm stopping every 5 seconds. But I've really enjoyed looking for these patterns. There are so many on there. This is what I love about the Mood website, is there's loads. There are costumes, there are like really simple things, there are really elaborate things. There's just sort of a whole mix of garments. So I really do think there's something on there for everybody. The one thing I will say about the Myrtle shorts is the size range is slightly different to the other ones. So it's because it's an older pattern. So it comes in sizes 2 to 30, which goes up to a 63-inch hip. Now, thank you so much for tuning in today. Please do check out the other video that will be posted today. I'll pop a link to that down below as well if I can. And the videos from yesterday, and there'll be more videos tomorrow. So the vlogger tour is really packed, so there should be something in there for everybody. So thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, if you want to enter and win one of the amazing prizes on offer, then you have to pick a free sewing pattern, pick fabric from your stash, sew it up in March, and post it on Instagram on the 31st of March with the appropriate hashtags, which I will pop below. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in. You take care. See you later.